Well, AECOM are a very large international company, engineering core, but all sort of construction consultancy. We were listed as one of the 50 most ethical companies in the world, and within the field of engineering, one of the top 3. So there's a very strong ethical ethos in the company, and clearly that includes sustainability. I personally am a sustainability consultant. I deal with materials and embodied energy, operational energy, things like that. And so you tax materials according to their environmental burden. And so when you're buying a house, you pay the landfill tax at the outset, and you have like entitlement to dump vouchers that you buy initially. Now this is complicated, but effectively it means that the impact that you're causing in 60, 80 years' time is paid for at the beginning, and it wouldn't be inflationary. There'd be a transfer from VAT towards this idea of an environmental impact tax, and it would help give much stronger governance on materials. And there are things like all complicated material, all complicated components should have a list of ingredients on the box in microstamps in different languages, just like you have with food. Any made-up food, like packaged meals, you have a list of ingredients. It should be the same with all complex components. And ideally, all the complex components would be rented, not bought. So they have an incentive to give them back to the company. So nothing would go to landfill. And it could be done in such a way that if the person didn't pay the rental on them, they wouldn't work. There's a number of areas, and obviously we are involved in helping look at building regulations and advise on what the standards ought to be, and trying to balance the demand, the cost, against the benefits of that. Also perhaps planning guidelines, and I've been looking at things like, trying to have attic roofs for starter homes so that people could extend into their loft as their family grows and they get more money. But there's the forms and the architectures that we look at, efficient transport and location related to where people work, and recreational areas, and minimising water use, all these sorts of issues in a very broad sense. But then there's also the area that I tend to deal with an awful lot is what is the best use of materials? How can we design in such a manner that we conserve materials as much as possible and perhaps recover them at end of life? Because, and it's true in all areas of manufacturing, I think the world is facing a real problem with resource depletion. Resource depletion is many, many minerals, soil, water, oil. A lot of these things are running down. And when we are using materials like especially precious metals, rare earth, we have to do them prudently and try to design in such a manner that they can be recovered and kept in the cycle and not lost. I have my own idea on this, which I'll tell you. I believe that to conserve materials, we can't just look at waste in terms of what goes to landfill and tax that at the end of life. Materials in buildings might be locked up in those buildings for 60, 80 years. And what we design now could, if not thought through properly in design, end up as being waste in 60, 80 years' time. And I believe that we have to transfer the way we tax things. Instead of taxing effort and people's labour, we need to tax materials. you.